Hey guys, welcome to day 53 of our Groenland devlog, and today we are going to be looking at our death animations, what we have, what we need, and take it from there. So let's have a look. Death animations. Interesting. Let's have a look at what we've got. Okay, that's more of a getting hit. We don't really need that. That's a better one. Yeah, we could have that. That's a falling down. Okay, so that's not bad. That's kicking a dead body. That's dead on a chair. So it looks like that one. Or was it this one? No, it's not that one. So it's either a 4 here. What's this one? Yeah. Okay. So once we have that, what we need to do is check our pawn, basically, to find out if we have. Now here's another thing, these are the survival ones, right? Now, does the survival... No, the survival ones don't have any deaths. Zombie has an attack, but that is about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new folder. We're going to say death anims, right, and that's for when we're doing that. And now we're going to close that, and we're back. Okay, so with that in mind, do we have we don't. Eh. Okay. Okay. So we don't have a is dead per se. Okay, so I guess we kinda need that. Yeah, we certainly kinda need that, don't we? Is dead. That's going to be in the save game. Okay. And now we are going to do a function called set is dead. We're going to say is dead is true. Anim, we're going to get the anim instance is, we don't have an is dead, believe it or not, in our animation instance. Well, there you go. Okie dokie. So, our next we've got that open is set as dead. Okay. So that's a save. And our next course of action let's make sure we've saved all that, is to go into our animation blueprint in fact it's really not. What we need is our death anims, and we're not doing the fall backwards, right? We are doing this one. We are going to do that one. Maybe. Right, I'll tell you what, we'll do that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. Okay. And we are going to retarget them. Bang. Okay. So we're going to go to our pawn and we're going to select that one, oops, that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. And these are going to go in there. Okay. How Lambros Mill, how did I learn all this? Practice. Practice, practice, practice. I'm afraid nothing more, nothing less. So what we need to do now is kind of test it out. right? And by testing it out, I mean that we need to go grab our animation graph and base locomotion, and we need to go to here, add a state, call it dead, right? And then we need to change this to say okay. Then we go back to here. Now we're going to change this, right? So don't worry about it. I think these are called AS or something. Or maybe they're not. Or maybe they won't be in here yet. Here we go. AS death. We'll rename these in a second. So we can just put one of these in for now, right? And basically that's going to go in there and it's not going to loop. Okay. Yeah, Lambros, as I said, practice plus a few tutorials, but I don't follow tutorials code-wise. I just kind of get them to get the brief overview of the main things that are discussed in the particular tutorial. For example, if I was to want to do wall running, I would just look at the tutorial and pick out the things that were important for it to work, and then I'd basically do it myself. Okay, so like for example, one of the important things to take from wall running is basically the surface normal, and that's one of the things that you really need. So I would take that out, then I would start playing with it and then try and work it out myself, because following the code and just basically copying it node for node, you're just going to end up, you don't know how it works. And you're not really learning anything if you follow a tutorial like that. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go back to our pawn, right? And then we're going to get a key, and it's this number 8. So what we're going to do is we're going to set dead. Okay. So now we're going to open up our test map. If you guys, my colleague has done a little bit with the rowing, so the guys aren't all standing there as the oars get rowed. Oars get, yeah, rowed, as in R-O-W-E-D, right? So if you guys want to see that, let me know, right? But I'm passing over to the test map for now so that I can test this out. Okay, so we are standing up, and if we hit 8, blammo, Okay. So that kind of works, I would say. And yeah, it's this one here is getting used at the moment. Okay, so we might actually have to do a little bit with that as well. Okay. We are not. So let's take a look at that again. I want to see. We might want to switch camera here, right? Is what I'm saying. But if we hit 8, you see how you've still got the camera? Okay. So, I want to do something. I don't know if my colleague will like this or not, but I want to do something anyway. Right? I'm going to do a widget. Okay, and we're going to call it a widget. And we're going to steal a bit of what's it called? Dark Souls here. Okay. And we're going to basically add a text box. Right. And we'll call it text death. Okay, we'll make that a variable because we might want to muck about with it. I'm not sure yet. Set it to the middle. 0.5, 0.5 it. We're going to size to thing. Has not survived. Right? Then we're going to set it to this. And we're going to put it there. Then we're going to go put it to there, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to, let's call it as usual, call it fade in. Okay. We're going to add a track. And it's going to be text death. We're going to add another track. Transform. not going to have rotation or translation or shear, but we're going to have it as this. Okay, so we're going to have X and Y scale as 1, and then we're going to go, oops, then we're going to go to here, and we're going to go 0, 0. Okay. There we go. So that's going to work. And in here, we are going to create widget. Now I'm not too sure if I'm going to do it here yet or before the set is dead, but we'll just play around with it. Okay. And we're going to play animation. And we're going to get our fade in. Okay. We'll test this. Okie doke. Hit 8. And I'm an idiot. Right, because I never did the most bleeding obvious thing. I'm going to break that for now, and I'm going to break that for now, and then we're going to add to viewport. And if we're going to do that, I suppose we need to add it here. We could do it as context, but we'll just drag it there, it's going to be quicker. Right, so basically we can do that. We can do that. Right. Then we can do that. Drag that out a little bit. Okay. And test. Right, so we're gradually going to build this up as we go to actually do what we want it to do, and then we'll switch it into a function. And there we go. Okay. So what we probably want to do now is actually add it to here. So we're going to copy that. We're going to go there. We're going to paste that in there. Hi, Fried Movies, how you doing? I'm just about to stop all that. I am just about to stop all of that nonsense. Okay. So, the point is, right, that we don't want to disable input, okay? But we're gradually building up our depth, okay? That's basically what we're doing here. We're gradually implementing all the things that need done when she dies. Okay? So that's the purpose here. Okay, so I'll show you a quick way of doing it. Right, so we die. Right, now you can see that the camera still moves, and this isn't a great angle to view her dying. Okay, so probably the first thing we should do is basically switch the camera. Now, I might need to do stuff here, but and we're going to click that and that. Now, I don't know what this is going to actually do, but we'll soon find out. And if we have to write, if we have to copy this, right, I think we're going to have to copy this slightly, but we're going to have to amend it. Right, now this will look as if it works to a degree, but it won't really be doing what we want it to do. Right, so if I press there, you'll notice that I can't move now, right? But it did kind of work. Because I want to stand up first. I mean, not that it makes any difference. We can try that out and see what happens. But what will happen is she'll kind of stand up first. But I can just press a button and she will die. Right? But the problem is that she's sitting. Right? So that's kind of an interesting one. So I need to look at this. But we want a version for death. Yeah, I've set the button up here, right? I've just set, this is like my testing area where I set buttons to do things. So like at the moment it's 8, right? So what we want to do is we kind of want to do this, but we want a slight difference. In fact, we actually don't. This actually works. Right, we'll worry about death in a minute, right? Animation. Right. So you'll see there's no path for her. Hi, Mohammed Riza Sengun. It's going well. Right, what we need here is this to go to here. And this to go in here. Now, also, we need the same thing from here to here. And in theory, we can have it here as well, and that's a bit tidier. Okay. So, if I press there, there you go. Okay. Next thing's next. Back to here. This switch camera works good, but we do now have to change some of the inputs. And basically that means that there's going to be a lot of things getting switched off. Put it that way. Right, so we're going to be doing a lot of code to handle when she dies. Right, because we're going to have to be switching off our HUD. We're going to have to be switching off, updating the main attributes. We're going to have to be switching off everything else. Right? So, our first course of action here is we want to switch off our input, right? So we want our camera to stop moving, okay? So basically, these have to get a condition put on it, right? Now, not as difficult as it seems, or as complicated, or as time consuming, because basically there is only a couple of these, right? And it's going to be fairly easy to do these. Right? Because basically all we need to do, drag this in, and this is basically what we're going to use all the time. Right? So that's going to go in there. We're going to be copy and pasting this, right? But this is going to be going in there. And then we're going to actually change this to not. Right? So that's actually going to go in there. And it's just to keep it tidy, right? It's just to make it basically in line so that it's true, you know, so it's the top one. Basically that. Right? I'm making a mess of this. So we'll line it left, that'll do. Right, so that's going to go in there. Right, that is going to go in here. And this needs changed as well, actually. I need a move left, move right. Now, the very nice thing is that turn and look up. Right, these are going to need done as well. Whoa. Not good. Everything to do with the inputs here, we're basically going to do the same thing. Now what I should have done was just copied it, right, and then we can just paste it instead of don't need to worry about this one. Okay. We may as well do the gamepad ones while we're at it. In fact, do we need to do that? I don't think we do. Right. So the next thing is to check it, right? And 8. And now I can't move, right? But it doesn't stop me. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another button to demonstrate this for you, that I'm not disabling the camera per se. Or I'm not disabling input completely, even though it looks like I am. Right, but I'm actually not. Right. We can change this to, let's say, 9. And we can just say quick game. Right, now I promise here guys I'm not hitting escape, right? So we can get up, we can die, and then if I hit 9, it quits the game. Right, so I've still got input there. It's still accepting input, it's just I've switched it off. Or I've switched off controls to the camera. Right, but there's a lot of things, as I said, that we need to do. Or a lot of things we still need to do and add to our set is dead. Right, and I think it's our main HUD, isn't it? We should have I think it's BP HUD. Oh, no, wait a minute. I think it's this. But I'll tell you what we'll do, right? We'll get that. I want to find out what it actually is anyway. And we can say set. Okay, we can't set hidden in game. Set visibility. Hidden. Okay, I'm not 100% sure if this is actually the right item because there was a mix-up between TP SAT and our stuff, my stuff, which we can try it anyway. Well, you can see it's not, right? Yeah. BP HUD is nothing. That's kind of what I suspected. Right, now, the thing is, I want to go here and find references. Where is it? Yeah, it's been taken out, right? Delete that. And then we can delete that. Okay? And that stops any more confusion on that particular issue. Okay. Next, we want to get our widgets, and it's this one here. This one is the widget that we wanted to hide. Okay. W main HUD. So these are the individual ones. We don't have a reference to it. So we're going to have to get widget get all widgets of class, right? Then it's going to be W main HUD. Oops. Right, now this is where I'm expecting things. Oh, wait a minute. For each. Now we're only expecting one of these, but we'll just do it for them all anyway. Now, if I do this, right, we're probably going to start getting errors, which I kind of want, because I want it to point me to things that I need to actually update, okay? So in this case, errors actually would be good. Okay, let me do that again. I missed what happened there. Right. So yeah. Right, and the next thing we need to do, notice I'm not getting any errors though, which I'm not entirely convinced with, but anyway. Thank you, Karen Bird, that's nice of you to say. Right, we're going to do the same thing, except this time, in fact, you know what? This time we can actually do it directly. Right, we can actually just grab our compass and remove it directly. Okay. So now we shouldn't have a compass, in theory. So we right click, right, stand up, walk about a bit, and die. What do you think, guys? We're getting there. We're getting there. And on that sad note, with our character lying dead in the middle of the ground, I'm going to grab a cigarette. So if you're enjoying the stream, hit like and subscribe. Check out the description for links to the Discord server for the game, my personal Discord server, my Patreon and my previous game on Steam, and I shall be back in a couple of minutes. Don't go anywhere, guys. Okay guys, we are back, and let's see where we are. Okay, so probably what we want now is another widget, right? And that's going to be like a button to say back to main menu or whatever we decide that we're going to do, right? So we can have a transparent, right? Or we can have it with these buttons here. Right? Or we can basically make up a button out of this stuff. Okay. What's these skull icons? Oh, these are skills. Right, so these aren't really what we want. Right, okay. So I think what we'll do is we'll just make a standard button, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go to widget, right? And then we're going to create another widget. And we'll just call it death main menu. This might get changed, it just depends, right? But we're basically going to have another canvas panel, right? And we're going to put that to the bottom. We're going to zero these out. Then we're going to have a horizontal box. Then we're going to have a button. And we're going to have the text. Okay, we're not going to have text on the button, we're going to have the text at the side. Right. And this canvas panel is going to be 0.5 and 1.1. In fact, it's going to be about 1.5. We'll call it 1.5. Right, this button is going to have an image, which is the one that we're looking for before, which is this one. Okay. I'm going to say auto on that. Okay. And this, we're going to change it, let's say to 128. don't know why it's suddenly not showing this. We'll copy that, paste that, paste that, paste that, and that is going to be an image, image, image. Then our text block is going to have some padding to the left. We'll say, let's say 25 to there. And we'll say back to main menu. This might still be a bit big, but maybe not. So we shall go back to our here. And what we shall do is right, let's just show it first, right? So we're going to create widget, and it's going to be death main menu. We're just going to have a look to see how it's looking. Hi, Storm Run Gaming, how you doing, bud? Right, and we're going to add to viewport. Now we might actually do a little animation on this. Right, so up she gets, down she goes, and we're going to have as far as I can see, I believe, I can't really check on this map, to be fair. Right, we're going to have to put this in some sort of a box, right, because you can't really see it very well. Okay, so we're going to go back to here, and what we're going to do is we're going to wrap this with a border. Okay, and then in our border we're going to get this, and this is the border. We don't want the content, we want this. Yeah, that's exactly what it is, by the way. It's a little homage as it is for now. Right, so that looks like crap, right? So we don't want that. We don't want it to be really square, actually. It's more going to be like this one. right? And then our horizontal box is going to have to be padded. Right, so we'll go 50, except we'll go 100, which means to the right we're going to need 100. And then top and bottom, let's say 20. Now, I'm not sure if I like this or not. I may just prefer, oh shit. I may actually prefer just a sort of blank one. Yeah. We kind of prefer that, or maybe even this. Yeah. No, that's animation, Storm Run. It's just been added to the animation blueprint. Okay, so what I'm actually going to do here is we're going to do our slide, right? And we're going to be sliding this canvas panel, so we're going to call it CP slide. Okay. And then we're going to add transform. And we're going to remove scale, shear, etc. We only want the translation. Okay. And it is going to be fairly fast. And the only thing we actually want here is the Y. Right? So the interesting thing here is interesting. We probably don't want that. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to delete that. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to move it to here. Right? And I'm going to say that. Okay? And you'll notice that that's 1.5. Right? Well, I'm going to move this back. And I'm going to make that 0. Actually, I'm going to make it minus 0.5. Right, now that should be there. Okay. Now, We could actually add our what the heck. We can do it in the pawn, right? What we can do is we can do a delay, except we can't. Screen Apple, how you doing, bud? Right, now what we're going to have to do here is with our here, right, that's actually fine. Okay, now what I propose we do is basically we delete that and we delete that, then here we hit there, and then 0.75 we hit again, but this time we do 1.5. Okay, so in effect this is going to give us a 2-second delay without actually having a 2-second delay, right? Because it's going to be hiding until it gets 2 seconds and then it's going to slide up. Okay, so there is another little sneaky way of doing a timeline without doing a timeline if you do it in a animation, right? So don't know why I closed that, but anyway, if we go back here now, right, what I'm going to do actually is in here I'm going to go to your graph, I'm going to delete all these. In fact, I don't need to. What we're going to do is on our event construct, right, we're going to play animation forward. Okay, and then we're going to get slide and we're going to pop it in there. Okay, and then we don't need to do any coding at all because it's going to call it itself, right? So let's see how that goes, shall we? There we go. And now we've got one more thing that we need to do. We need to say UI and game mode. Okay, we don't need to set the widget in focus, I don't think, but if we do, we can always plug in the main menu widget if we want. So we get player controller, that goes in there, and then if we need it, we'll find out in a minute or two. We basically do that. then that's going to bring our arrow, our cursor back up. So okay, if I remember rightly, show mouse cursor, and it's not that. But I tell you what we can do, we can actually double click on that, right? Okay, we don't want to do that, but at least it tells us what we need to do. If you can't remember off the top of your head where that was, I knew it was somewhere, but we can delete that, paste that, and in fact we can delete that, and we can just do that. Right. And there we go. And now on our death main menu and our button, it's open, isn't it? It's open, level by name, and it's main menu, I think. Check that out. Have a look in here. It's main menu. Okay, so click on that. There we go. So that works good. Right, now we have to go back in here. Right, now what we can do, and this is another little trick for you guys, is we're going to select an animation to play. Okay, so what we need to do, well, one of the things that we can do is, if we look at our monsters, right, I've got it set up in here. I'm not sure if it's the infected zombie or not. I can't exactly remember. We'll have a look at both of them, right, to see which one I have got set up. This is the animation blueprint. Okay. If we have a look at the event graph, that's going to tell me if this is the one or not. Right, here you go. Death anim number. Okay. So if we go back to here, we can set up a variable and we can say death anim number. Okay. Then we paste that and we've actually got 5. No, yeah, we've got 5, so it's 0 to 4. 4. Okay. And then what you can do is in your animation graph, right? We can set up a select. Okay. So what we can do here is copy that, go into our pawn, go to our base locomotion, and then to our death, and we can paste that. Okay. And we can basically now select our death animation. So death, alright, so we know it's AS. Right, let's do this the sensible way, shall we? Go to pawn, death animations. Right, so we know what these are called. AS death anim. AS death F anim. AS death L anim. AS death R anim. And stand relaxed, that one. Okay. So what we do here is we pull in an animation, right? And then what you do is you set this to expose as pin. Okay, and then you plug that in there, and then you plug that in there, and then you save it. Okay. So now we should get a random death. Right, but we obviously don't want this to loop. Alright. Well, that's interesting. That's interesting because it's not bloody working. How will I save? I use easy multi-save. It already saves if I want it to. Right, have I done something stupid here? Let's try again. Awesome. Well, she certainly falls down dead. I must say she's a bit dramatic about it. Right, so one of these isn't working, right? I'm guessing it's option 0. Because it seems to be the one that's not doing it. Or maybe not. I don't know what you mean, Screen Apple. How do you do a character collect food? Well, you just do an interactable item, pick up the food, right, and then start a timer, and just start a timer by function name, right, and then set it to 5 minutes, right. Don't loop it, and then just have the function as character has died. Right, I mean, I could do that here quite easily. Well, let's do it in a simpler fashion, right? But this will give you an idea that once you've picked up the food, this will happen, right? Right, so if I set timer by function name, okay, and then I do a custom custom event. Right? And I call it food poison, right? And the food poison set is dead, right? And then I say food poison, and then let's say I set this to 15 seconds, right? And then I join it here and here. Okay, give me a minute, Acrobat Kid. Right, so basically after 15 seconds I'm going to drop down dead, right? So there she goes. There you go. That's it. It's easy as that. Right? Right, wait a minute. We don't want to print that out anymore. We'll tidy this up a bit as well while we're at it. Right, we'll do that. Drag that. Right, so there we go. And for Acrobat Kid, if he hits the subscribe button, I'll actually show him the start of the game. Not that you can't just hit the unsubscribe button straight after it, right enough, but anyway. But yeah, hopefully Screen Apple, you know how to do that now. So, the next part of the... Oh yeah, I was going to load it up and let you see it again, wasn't I? Right, I believe you, Acrobat Kid. I believe you, mate. Right, so we're going to go to the main map, and you guys will now see the actual guys, my colleagues working on the animations for the rowing. So you'll see them gradually you'll see the animations getting filled in, right, where there wasn't any before. So like last night they were all standing like statues, whereas today some of them are actually rowing. Right, now personally I think they should go forward a bit, but I'll speak to Kent about that, because they kind of look as if they're just getting straight back up again rather than, you know, you bend forward to row, you know. But anyway, I'm not going to complain. So obviously I'm going to have to switch the likes of this stuff off and stop time basically, so that the start doesn't start until you get up, right? Because at the moment you can't get up, right? You can't move, right, until this is played out, which is kind of the point. So once that's played, she can now get up, right? And we can now do our thing. Right, now she's walking really slow, so I think, yeah, it's because her energy's practically nothing. You see that? Right, and that's because we were working on the energy thing last night, so that's basically screwing us up. Right, but that is the start, and as I said, on the test map is where I work on the mechanics. Yeah, this bit up says up here. There's two ways to do it. You can change your ini file, or you can hit the tilde key and type something in, right? I can't remember what it is, but there's two ways of doing it, right? You can basically hit the tilde, which brings up this command thing, and then you can check, Google it, and it'll tell you what to type in there. Or the other way you can do it is to change your ini file for Unreal Engine, and you can up the video memory in there as well. As I said, I don't know the command offhand, but that's how you do it. That's the two ways of doing it. Okay. So as you could see, our character is dying. Right? There is one of our animations isn't quite right. Right, now I'm not too sure which one it is. We could find out. Right? Because all we need to do if we want to find out is go into her animation blueprint, right? And then if we go to the event graph, right, we can just do the old print string here. Okay, and then we just grab which number it is. Right, and pop it in there, and then pop that there, and that's going to print that out every frame so we know which one it is. Right, so now I don't know what's printing out that 89, 88, 87 crap. Right, and it must be, yeah, I'll be streaming every day, Acrobat Kid, and if you did subscribe then thank you, if you didn't, don't worry about it. Right, so the next thing is we need to well, what I'm going to do here actually is change the colour of this. I'm going to change it to like red, right, so that I know the difference. Right. Well, thank you, Acrobat Kid. I'll see you tomorrow then. Now, isn't that strange? Well, actually, no, it's not strange. Because it needs to go before this. Okay. So we've picked, it's picked 0, okay? And these deaths are a bit, the deaths are, what could you say, a bit dramatic. Right, this appears to be 1. Right, she died okay there. And we've picked 0 again. That's not so bad. I don't mind that one. But I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to pull that camera back a bit. Right? Or we're going to have to create another blend camera or something, another blend camera position or something, because that's a bit off. It's not off, but you know, actually, right, I'll tell you what. I think England has succumbed to the elements. What do you think of that, guys? I think that's more apt. Okay, we're going to have to pull it back. This is nonsense. I love it when it gives me ticket numbers and stuff when I don't actually subscribe to any of these things. Right, so I think what we'll do is that. So let's take a look at that again. And I'm not sure, but I'm going to check here. Is that? Yeah, that's not how you spell succumb. I wasn't sure about that. Right? It's actually spelled like that. Right, okay. I'm being pedantic, but there you go. Oh, she didn't die that time. And that's number 4. Okay, that was number 4. So, if we go back to here, and we go to here, and we go to here, and in fact, tell you what we'll do. Okay, we'll go here, right, and we'll just change this to 3. Okay. Oh, look at that. She's dead, but the wind is still affecting her body. Right guys, I'm going to call it there. So thank you guys for watching it today. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you guys for commenting in the chat. Always keeps it more lively and interesting for me when you guys talk. If you enjoyed it, hit like and subscribe. I'll be back at 8 PM Central. Check out the description for the usual links to Discord, Patreon and my previous game on Steam. And I shall hopefully see you guys later. Bye bye for now.